via the following means. So I said confidentially because confidentiality is the hallmark of the activities of ELAC. So every information that's provided, you have the option to either provide your name or you want to remain anonymous. There's no problem. What we want is the information that you will provide. So we have the email address. The email address is alac@cental.org.lr. The Facebook address is Center ELAC, or in our case is CENTAL ALAC, all uppercase. We also have hotline number you can call to report issues about corruption. The hotline number 4432, you can use it to call to report issues about corruption. Is free, both networks. So you can, using Lone Star, you can call the number. If you are using Orange GSM, you can also call the number. It's free of charge. But you can only call if you have facts to report. So you have issues to report about corruption and integrity within your communities, in the marketplaces. In the marketplaces, if there are things that you are not satisfied with in the market, people who are taking the cup to measure the rice and putting kernel rice in the cup, and they are selling it for high prices. I mean, that's corruption. You are doing all of those things in the market. If you want to report, you can report our ELAC. If you're working in a particular institution and you are not satisfied with the way things are going, there are corruption taking place in your presence, and you want to report, whether in the public or private sector, you can also call 4432 and report. So you're reporting to ELAC, you have little, basis to report. You should have basis to report, have the facts, so that the team can have a lead to be able to further their inquiry or queries about those information that you may provide. So like we said, both GSM is toll free. You can call the number 4432 and you'll be able to report issues about corruption. So I'm calling the number now because usually when we put the number at the end of the program, when time caught up with us, we don't announce the number. So I'm calling it right now. So we also have walk-in services. So you can walk in and provide information, or you seek information. If you want access, you have access to a particular piece of information, you can visit our ELAC and they can help you out. So there are documents, maybe you don't have the means of gathering those documents, we can help you out. Our team can help you out. And we've made, if it's about anti-graft laws and regulations about the different anti-graft institutions, we now have a handbook. So that handbook affords you the opportunity to just go to a particular space and have all of the laws that you want to have access to. So you can just log to www.cental.org.lr. So it's center.org.lr. You can just log there, go to documents, and be able to access the document that you want. The law is there. And if you want to have access to a recently launched State of Corruption report, you can also visit our website or the Facebook page as well. Go to our Facebook page and you can just click on that document. You can have it downloaded, and it is just a working tool. You can have it and then use it for your research purposes. Also, we are in partnership with the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. And for the matter of fact, and for your information as well, we signed a memorandum of understanding with the LACC just days ago. So in that memorandum, the LACC and CENTAD are going to be working jointly to fight corruption in Liberia. So as part of this arrangement, CENTAD has been, and it will continue to elevate issues about the LACC, how you can access the LACC. So the LACC is clothed with the responsibility of investigating and educating the public about corruption, as well as prosecuting corruption. The only institution that is clothed with that responsibility of conducting investigation into corruption-related matter and prosecuting those who are connected to those incidents is the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. So on this platform, we have been announcing the number that you can contact the LCC on. So the numbers to contact the LCC are 0555 395 728. Again, 0555, that is 0555 395 728, or just dial 4048. You can dial that number 4048. It's toll free, and you can contact the LACC. The first number that I announced, that's for Center ALAC. The numbers that I'm announcing now, they are for the LACC. You can also call the LACC on 0776 6000 50. So 0776 600. So the 0 is 3 times, and then you put 50. So those are the numbers you can call to contact the LACC. However, before you call these numbers, please make sure that you have basic facts, pieces of evidence that can help the investigators to investigate the issues that you'll be reporting. So you cannot just call on the because you just feel like calling, because it is toll free, so you can just call at any time. No. Please call these numbers if you have facts to report. The LACC investigators will only investigate issues that are fact that they can further build on. So if you have the piece of evidence that they can use to do their investigation further, it's going to help them. The fight against corruption, it is not a single institution, not one institution that can win the fight against corruption. The LACC alone cannot win the fight against corruption. That is the reason why the LACC is partnering with different institutions like Central, so that we all can join the fight against corruption. So you in the communities, you in the different public sector, in the private sector, you can help the LACC, and you can help our country to be better by reporting issues about corruption. And you yourself try to abstain from acts of corruption. Stop justifying acts of corruption. We need to live with integrity and do things with integrity. So those are things, those are the numbers for the LCC, and we just wanted to inform you about that, to have facts to be able to report issues about, to call these numbers. This platform is very stable and informative. So guests appearing on this platform, they are guided and they are warned not to use invectives and denigrating comments. So today is Thursday, October the 7th, 2021, and this edition of the program is playing host to the Executive Director of NAYMOTE, part of Democratic Development. He is Mr. Eddie D. Jarwolo. Mr. Jarwolo sent our invitation to talk about the 7th survey report on the quality of governance in Liberia. So in that report, the armed forces of Liberia, public trust in the armed forces of Liberia was increased. So Eddie has accepted our invitation to talk about the report, the methodologies and recommendations that are captured in the report. So it was released in September. So we are going to be joining Eddie online to talk about the report, the 7th survey report on the quality of governance in Liberia. Like we said, our country will not be better if we don't work together to make it better. Members of the civil society, members of the public, members of the private sector, we all can work together to make this country a better place. So before we start our program, let's go quickly to little things that matter. On the little things that matter, we just want to talk about one issue quickly, and two issues rather. Two issues quickly. One is the follow up with the executive mansion on the situation involving Madam Keita. So Madam Keita is the coordinator of special project in the office of the President of Liberia, His Excellency George Manawia. She was accused of soliciting bribes or kickback from investors. So the president asked his legal advisor to investigate. So last week before the last, we follow up with the office of the president, the deputy press secretary. The deputy press secretary Smith told us that gave us basic information about the situation and said he informed that the legal advisor to the president, Councillor Archibald Bernard, was out of the country and he returned to the country. That time he said maybe a week ago or more than 2 weeks ago. So we told you on this platform that we're going to follow up to know where are we on that. So we called Smith this morning. Smith told us that he's going to do follow up on this matter. He did not do it because they were engaged with the president's birthday. So he's going to do follow up. We did not stop. We will continue to follow up on this matter to keep you abreast with the situation surrounding this particular matter. Why? Because it involves the office of the presidency. If one who's working in the office of the president is accused of such matter, we cannot allow it to be business as usual, where investigations are done and they are swept on the carpet. This one, we're going to follow up to make sure that we keep the public informed about circumstances surrounding this investigation. Whatever is said, we're going to inform you about it along the way. So we're going to follow up with Chris tomorrow again to gather basic information. He said at the close of business today. So we're going to follow up with him. And when we come back here, we're going to tell you what the status of that investigation is. So thank you. We will take a break. When we come back, we're going to join. So we want to take it just at that because of time. So we'll be joining our guests very soon. So we'll take a break. When we come back, we join our guests so that we can have a very lengthy discussion. Let's take a break. transparency and accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Thursday on ECOWAS Radio 91.5 FM. It's relayed on Prime FM 105.5 in Monrovia. So we are here today, and then we are going to be having as our guest the Executive Director of NAYMOTE Partner for Democratic Development, Mr. Eddie D. Jarwolo. So Mr. Jarwolo is going to be talking about the recently released survey report on the quality of governance in Liberia. So there are a lot of things covered in that report, and one of which is the increased public trust in the armed forces of Liberia. He's going to be talking about that technology, which he's trying to join us so that we can have this conversation. So whilst Eddie is trying to join us, let us talk a little bit about what Center has been doing of recent. So we launched the State of Corruption report in Liberia. So the report captured a lot of sectors. So the health sector, the education sector, and different sectors were captured in that report. So the process leading to the launch of the report on September 28th started in June. So in June, we sent out data collectors in field, and data collectors used a particular software that were able to gather the data. So to secure the data collectors went into the field and spoke with the respondents. As the information is gathered, it comes to the server in Monrovia. So we received the information, and then the information all information was collected, and then we were able to come out further analyze those pieces of information, and we were able to come up with the findings. So the findings of the report, there are a lot of things that were captured, like I said, one of which is the public trust or public perception about corruption in Liberia. So 90% of the respondents said corruption was high in Liberia. So we will now leave it at that. We will talk about this bit and bit because we want public to know what's happening and what we are doing in the fight against corruption. So now we have on the line Mr. Eddie D. Jarwolo. He is our guest for today. As we said, he's our guest for today. So we have him on the line. Good morning, Mr. Jarwolo.
Good morning, Sam. Sorry for coming on late. Currently attending another event, but good to be here and happy to participate in your program.
Great, thank you. Thank you for making all of the efforts, and thank you for always accepting our invitation to talk about governance and democracy in our beloved country. Okay, so let's find out how is NAYMOTE Partner for Democratic Development. How is it going?
We are good. We are good. Currently planning for our political leadership school, which should be on the 25th to the 29th. Mm-hmm. We're bringing together 100 young people from across the West Africa region. And we'll have the Vice President from Sierra Leone serving as our keynote address and also facilitating. We're bringing like 6 international facilitators with 5 local facilitators. We have the U.S. ambassador, the British ambassador, the Swedish ambassador, and former President Eddie Johnson said he's speaking at our forum. So beside that, all the activity ongoing and it's been good.
Wow. Okay, you just talked about the political leadership forum. Let's talk about a little bit about what's the significance of that forum.
Sam, if you realize that across Africa, young people constitute majority of the total normal race of voters across different countries in Africa. By any of the election, these young people feel marginalized, rejected, and frustrated because most of the promises made by politicians actually not working. So our plan of the Young Political Leadership School that started 2016 is to train a new generation, of capital-driven young leaders that will themselves participate in electoral processes, either as a candidate, or as a campaign manager, or as voters. But after the election, they can be able to hold that leader accountable for those promises they made, or they themselves can be able to win the election to office and make a difference.
Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you. We just want to, give a little bit of information on that. Okay. On the 7th of September, thereabout in September, we launched or released the seventh for survey report on the quality of governance in Liberia, and there are a lot of things captured in that report. And let us learn first the basis for that report. What was the basis for that report?
So currently, we are doing a lot of work around the issue of governance in Liberia. From the background of power governance was a contribute or among the contributing factors of the civil conflict in Liberia and undermine national development and exclusion of many people in decision making. So we do all the work around democracies, governance, election, those integrity issues, but then we want to see how people rate their government in terms of how far they advance into those democratic principles, quality for good governance. So every year we do this. This is our 7th. So, I mean, it's 7 years we've been doing this perception survey. It's a perception survey, and we targeted the 15 counties working in 46 electoral districts, targeting 3,600 registered voters. So I mean, across the 15 countries, we got people speaking from across 46 electoral districts. Women constituted almost 50% of the registered voters. So women were more among the people we interviewed. Now, a lot of questions that came out. We look at questions around security, look at questions around corruption, accountability, questions around provision of basic social services. And with the different districts, I think what the calculation we made, 63% of the total number of registered districts in Liberia represents. It's a very fair representation of people. So, as a perception survey on the quality of governance to see how people perceive the way government is delivering quality services in the promotion of government.
Okay, great. In that survey, the respondents, they rated the armed forces of Liberia as one of the institutions they have trust in. Did they provide further information on why they think so?
So most of the questions we use over the past 7 years have been very consistent. So like I said, they are doing a lot of work around security sector reform. So we want people to give it a perspective or the perception on how which security institution is more trusted based on the way they perform, based on the way they act, and based on the way they reach out in terms of living up to what they're supposed to be doing. So the question is, among the different security sector, which security sector is more trusted? So with that number, we have almost a 92% of the people interviewed thinking that the armed forces of Liberia is the most trusted security sector or agency in Liberia. But then if you look around same in our country, whenever the army was deployed during the Ebola crisis, we saw how professional they were across the country. They were also deployed when we started with the state of emergency under the COVID-19. We saw how professional the have been. They have been proven to be a very professional institution. Even if member of the institution makes a mistake, we see how the leadership of the military respond to addressing the issue in a very, very professional way. So we're not surprised when people rated the armed forces as the most trusted security agency. After that, the second trusted security institution was the Liberia National Police. 71% of the respondents across the 15 counties in 46 electoral districts think that the police is the second trusted security institution in Liberia. And what I would take or leave it beside the armed forces of Liberia, actually the police count number one before talking about immigration, the DA. The drug enforcement agency was rated the least trusted security institution in Nigeria.
Why do you think so? Why did the people think that the DEA, they consider the DEA to be least?
We had discussion with some of the leadership of the DA. They realized that the enforcement of the law is very weak. So whenever you speak to people from the drug enforcement agency, the leadership, they say, Eddie, the law is weak. Even when we're arresting people, the next day people see them by their communities. And same across our work in the 15 counties, there's no county in Liberia that is drug free. You see the number of drug addicts like the Zogos, you see them on the increase in every county in Liberia. So people think that the drugs enforcement agency, but then when you ask the drugs enforcement agency, yeah, Eddie, we know we're not doing much, but we're not capacitated. If we even arrested people, they are released because the law is weak. We're not doing much to stop the trafficking and drugs in our country. So perhaps that could be the way to vote. I responded to the questions.
Wow. Okay. So you want the issue about so you went to your 15 counties and you were able to speak for 3,220 registered voters, and you had women at 56.2%, and men were at 43.8%. So some of them, 78.4% of the respondents on the issues about the democracy of our country, whether the country was going in the right way or the wrong way. They had their own views on the governance of our country. Would you further explain how why they take that way?
So in terms of the perception on whether the country is going in the right direction, yes, I mean majority voted that the country was going in the wrong direction. But then when we came out there follow-up project, what are you actually getting information about what is government doing? Almost 72% of the respondents think that the government is not doing well in terms of sharing information. If people are not aware about what the government doing, how do we actually expect them to create a government? So I think information sharing is also important. Secondly, you see the country, people don't have access to basic social services, no safe drinking water, no electricity, the road network is terrible. I mean, the health system is not effective. The school system is also a challenge. So people look at all the things and think that I don't think we're doing much. So I think the government needs to do more to be able to push the country in the right direction. So,
wow. The economy. They also spoke about the economy. Some consider it to be poor and not going correctly.
yeah, so the economy and the economy going to run direction all been a consistent question I will use through all our survey over the past 7 years. So people think the economy is actually not going in the right direction. The economy in our country is more controlled by foreigners or people are not empowered. So you see the poverty, the hardship. I mean, what we eat is not what we grow. It's very little. People don't have access to loan to be able to make businesses. People are not employed. Our resources are not being properly managed. There are a lot of issues about mismanagement of public funds in this country where you have the county social development fund. A lot of people think that the county social development fund is not benefiting them. Most of the projects in this country are projects controlled by politicians and elected leaders. So the lawmaker will determine the project. The project will be mostly driven by political thought, political intent. And at the end of the day, people feel that, but the government is not working our interests. Again, it's difficult to interpret the way the voter is a perception, but realizing that we have time to interact with the people, these are some of the things that we hear from them. That the government job of few people. It's still issue about high level about discrimination. If you're not a member of a party, you cannot get a job. More people employed in the local government structure are not people with the experience and integrity and the knowledge to get it well done, but are people who are members of the political parties and they got to be given this job to go in the local government work. We are forgetting to know that the local government is a foundation for national governance. If we don't have a strong local government administration as competent, credible experience with the knowledge and skills and the tools to get it well done, you can't spend nothing. If the local government is not strong, the national government will not be strong. So Ian Moss will talk about the county service center, decentralizing county service center in the 15 county. in the country again, it's not decentralized in the community, in the districts or the town. It's still what is centralized in the capital city. The provision of basic social, just safe drinking water. People don't have access to safe drinking water. What is electricity? Even most of the country, we don't even have access to electricity. So what do you expect? People think that we're not doing the right thing. Hello? Are you getting me? Hello? Hello?
For the okay, so they talk about the public or the respondents. They talk about the lack of information sharing, and the Ministry of Information that is responsible for dissemination of information regarding the government or activities of the government. Okay, I'm asking the question: the perception of the public about the dissemination of information from the government, and the Ministry of Information that is clothed with that responsibility has complained over the years. Legendary running is there, and I mean nothing is happening. Under the past regime, we had Louis Brown said it was a sleeping giant, and then he went there. apparently the giant died, but legend is there. I mean, what do you think? How can we, or as government, make sure that information is sent out to the people when the institutions that should be doing these things, they are almost dead? Mhm. Okay. Mhm. Wow. Great. And, usually, the people in government they always accuse civil society of only concern about gathering numbers, but they are not concerned about advancing recommendations, advancing solutions to all of these problems that they usually identify. The report identified some way forward so that the government, if possible, can use. Okay. Mhm.
can do is verify and appreciate what the government is doing. Everything about this government is on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, Facebook, you need to go be on Facebook. You need to go to Facebook and go to communicate with people to what they want to do. So when civil society giving the wrong information, oh, they know what the government did. Then the government education came by America. I think to the more that they go to make to nation income, there's three and what happened. What about the people in the rural country? How do they get information? How do young people who don't have access to the radio station, how do they get information? How about the market women? What is the how about the traditional leaders? How do they get information? What would newspaper this day in America? How much was spent on that trip? What the month allocated what the foreign minister now on trip? They need to know. The people are the ones that are working, government is working for us. We put in there. Okay. In our government money they're using, we have to be aware of everything the government is doing. And I want so that's what accountability. The government also get right off to the about what we receive and we'll be willing to that. So most of our people pick up our website, they can go and do what we're doing. That's what it is.
Okay.
But the government has to do a lot. The government has to open up to be more transparent, to be accountable, to respond to what people are concerned about, to make sure that they do the right thing. In the survey, since the not has not responded, rated the government, the former enhancing the COVID-19 positive.
Okay.
The people are aware because the Ministry of Health to the different county health teams. Yeah.
Okay.
They were messaged across the country on the local, regular Washington. So people were so they're not the people think, yes, in terms of the former enhancing the COVID-19, the government did well. Which was done very good. But there are other challenges the government needs to address.
So, what are you gathering? What feedback are you gathering from these reports? Even though you said recommendations, all of your reports, there are recommendations. Have you been able to see any of your recommendations being considered in any policy decision or any policy document?
People reach out to all going to read the report. People are appreciating the report. Some people have mixed feelings, especially when they're very national police. You know, and I'm not just going to put the report and issue they have the most trusted security agency in Nigeria. And people thought that it was just wrong to create in that way. But there's some people think.
Okay.
And most of the rural area, you don't see the type of police that you see in most there.
Sure.
Because the service they're not focused on most of the police, most of the country, but focus in the state country. There are people who live in that the police are the people living. They're not nothing about armed robbery, there's nothing about this one is to honor our street. And think that some of the ones that they think they trust the police, because there's a wonderful person that are right now. We can change the report, they go uncomfortable to the one that people say. And that's the one issue that came across on most of the radio stations that the police don't even want to be having for this and that. That's what people think and we can change it. I think the government will read their radio report. I show some of what who says true. There's not much of a negative feedback from the government. The government is on the obligation. We have less than 2 more years to be there. So they have to do a lot to complicate the people who want to go through because these little elections of the stress the way people make decisions to reform. The way they punish the government. All what the government. So we know the government was not doing the right thing. I'm probably communicating with the people and doing the right thing.
Thank you. All right, so Mr. Jarwolo, we want to hold you on the line a little bit so that we can have the participation of our audience. So we want to announce the numbers so that people can participate on the program. So the program you are listening to is called Integrity Watch. It's a 1-hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. Thanks to the government and people of Sweden for the support. And if you want to participate on the program, like we said, we have on the line as our guest Mr. Eddie D. Jarwolo. He is the Executive Director of NAYMOTE, Partner for Democratic Development, and they did a survey on equality of governance in Liberia. So we now open the lines. The number to call 0779 000 691 0779 000 691 or on the Lone Star number 0886 474563. 077 0886 rather 474563 0779 0000691 07. So Jarwolo, we want you to just listen or have a receiver and listen to the program a little bit so that callers can call, and then we'll join you to give a response. So if you are following us live, you can okay, we have a caller on the line. Okay. Let's take that. Okay, we have a caller on the line. Let's take the call. Okay, that caller went off as well. So there's the number to call. The numbers to call 0886 47456. Mr. Jao will just be monitoring the receiver, and if you are following us live, you can also leave your comment on our live Facebook feed, and we want to read it out to our guests. The number 0779 0691. We have a caller on that line. Okay, we have a caller on this line. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from
Gabriel, let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm a listener on the show, and most time I would like to hear from you. I don't want to do what I did last time, but CSA retirement issue.
Oh, Gabriel, yes. Okay.
What I want to ask is better there. It did not measure about retirees. When people who are retired, whether they are certain, I would have put people that were retired on 7,000, or 200, or 7,000, in getting on salary, it's not on time. How you really, what is that with the retiree, or because we are the older folks today, we become beggars. So what I want to say, whatever with the retiree, to get all the school and sometimes we can benefit from government. And that's the one of the problem is that the service people here. If you who have the authority to get to the bill, the problem they retire all us. So just give 1 week here, then they say by next month you will retire. And I believe that in the policy of the CSA, the CSA has a program in 6 months time will notice you all year. But now this is we are going. People just you notice in 1 week, then they say next month, and then you retire.
Okay,
so we don't go for CSA. I don't know if it's what the policy of the CSA has that to retire. What is anytime you want to die there.
Okay, Gabriel. Okay, we have another caller on the line. Good morning. Your name and where are you calling from? Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff. David Hussein calling from the street.
David, let's hear you.
Yeah, let me explain this thing that Jarwolo for his phone.
Mm-hmm.
These days, the education that I just corruption is so rampant, specifically with reference. We don't people we had here. When you don't concentrate class stop project, the friends will look at you. I think you try to find ready to have a song or education of accident education sector. Thank you very much.
Okay, David. All right. So we allowed Gabriel to speak about retirement. He's asking Eddie whether you will also your service or some of your service will consider retirees as well. And he has been talking about this. And we said we're going to join Eddie. Please be taking down the questions, and then we join you. You can be able to answer. If you are following us on Facebook, please leave your comments. We're going to read it out to our guests. The numbers to call 0779 000691 0779 000691 and 0886 474563. Those are the numbers to call to be live on the program. Like we said, we have as our guest the executive director of NAYMOTE, part of Democratic Development. He's our guest. We're talking about the recently released survey report on the quality of governance in Liberia. So the people, the respondents, most of them said the government information dissemination marketing action, they consider it to be very poor. And we asked earlier about the Ministry of Information. The Ministry of Information has complained about lack of support. We have a caller on that line. Good morning. Let's hear you. Good morning. Your name and where are you calling from? Jonathan, let's hear you.
Thank you for the program. I agree with the people that say that he has created them in a society. So what the problem facing the country is a judge. So in my own way, the tax to destroy war and
Hold on. Okay.
You can tell me join live.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you ever so much. We have another caller on this line. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Your name, where are you calling from? Morris, let's hear you.
Okay, I want to applaud Mr. Jarwolo for the survey. I would like to recommend him to conduct survey within the educational sector because I'm a student and I know what's going on. There's a lot of malpractices when it comes to education. So I want to urge him to look in that direction.
All right. Okay. Thank you. You got two persons that asked that you also consider conducting survey in the educational sector. There are reports about massive corruption in the education sector. One of the callers said the William V. Stoughton High School, one of the instant cases that he talked about. So the next call to be live on the program. Before we join our guests to make a few comments, we want to allow you to participate. 0779000691, 0886470563. Those are the numbers to call. We have just a few more minutes to just take, because if not, we want to join our guest so that he can respond and we'll have his parting comments. So that's 0779000691, 0886474563. And if you're live on Facebook, you can also leave your comments. So I think we will leave it at that, and we rejoin our guests so that we can. Okay, we'll leave it at that with the course, and we'll rejoin our guests so that we can get his comments on the questions that were asked. So we try to rejoin Mr. Eddie Jarwolo so that he can just answer some of the questions, and then consider some of the recommendations that people are making. Two persons talked about considering conducting survey in the education sector. They said the issue about corruption is seriously hampering the educational sector. So we will join Eddie as soon as we get him connected. We're going to talk about take his response on the questions and your comments you made. The program is Integrated Watch, and it is a 1-hour radio program brought to you by the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. It is aired every Thursday on the ECOWAS Radio 91.5 FM and it is relayed on Prime FM. Mr. Jarwolo is on the line. Mr. Jarwolo, welcome back. Were you following the callers? Okay. So Gabriel called, and Gabriel said he's considering. He asking whether you will consider conducting survey on retirees, people who are retired by the government or by the CSA. Whether you will conduct survey for them to consider their plight. And two persons talk about considering the educational sector to conduct a survey there because there are issues about corruption in the educational sector as well. And then somebody concur with the report and say, yes, the LDA is one of the least operational in fact talking about this survey LDA. So let's get your comments on those questions, on those matters quickly.
Yeah, we're not survey on people who retire. We get a political governance in resources to responsible to ensure that the individual who wants to make sure that those are properly managed. The government has to understand that we need to invest in services of generating revenue. That's why the government has to take full responsibility of the electricity sector, the telecommunication sector, because these are sectors that represent our country. We cannot give them out to people of the European. So we need to do a lot of work on making laws, policies, and programs that is inclusive of all the ordinary people. How do we decentralize the sector, the electricity sector, across different electricity? How do we ensure that citizens get involved in ensuring that power sales is reduced and the government can generate revenue? Also, how do we get it done? The civil peanuts to run the economy. So we have resources to for 800 million. In less than 2 years of a budget, we're giving it over 25 years. Led to that decision, and people involved in the decision. What I said our lawmakers say, I mean, what benefits the country will get for it? There's a lot of work we need to do, and this decision something to do that because honestly, what we think, it helps the government of this. These are issues that people who connect, people want to make sure all they do is find a reading program to communicate everything to the president office, the other president of government to tell the people what he's doing in the education sector, health sector, or agriculture sector. I mean, what he's doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
The government on Facebook.
Okay.
Want to take the government on Facebook and use all of this to get the people understand what the government.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate what government is doing. Mr. Jarwolo, we want to leave at that. Tom is now our friend in the business of broadcasting, so Tom has caught up with us. Yeah, thank you so much. That's the voice of Mr. Eddie D. Jarwolo. He is the executive director of NAYMOTE, Partner for Democratic Development. He has been our guest, and we're talking about the survey report on the quality of governance in Liberia. My name is Sam Zota. I'm the Media and Communications Officer at the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. My colleague Mark Bono has been ensuring our visibility moves beyond the studio. Join us next Thursday for the edition of this program. Yes, Thursday is a brand new edition of the program. Goodbye.